year is 2026. The entertainment industry is fueled and filled with new content thanks to the power of artificial intelligence. Viewers can rejoice knowing that after a long day being rejected from job positions held by the rising robot population, they can sit at their computer and generate an entire new world to lose themselves in for the next 2 hours. Viewers are content, profits keep coming in, and Beyond the Spider-Verse still has no release date. But how did we get to witness such bliss, such majesty, on the behalf of our future robot overlords? Well, you needn't look back more than a single year. Yo, the writers of Paddington are working on a new animated movie. I wonder what it looks like. Welcome to the modern age. AI slop. 2 words you've likely— hold on, that's an abbreviation. 3 words you've likely heard repeated non-stop over the past 2 years, as the usage of AI across entertainment, advertising, and especially social media has become rampant and unfortunately shows no sign of stopping, which gets even more terrifying as the AI slop gets closer to matching reality every day. The looming threat of AI taking over entertainment, hell, our lives as a whole, has been a topic of nearly every sci-fi story ever conceived, and yet we've hilariously found ourselves completely unprepared for its actual arrival, and now here we are. Though, even though we may not be far off from the complete AI takeover, the fact that the prospect alone has caused millions around the world to cherish and celebrate actual human artistry when they would have otherwise turned a blind eye is definitely a net positive. And at the end of the day, no matter how close AI comes to replicating and copying things, we will always have the innate ability to distinguish the soulless from the soulful. And I think that gives me an excuse to stop with this whole profound, serious monologue and start poking fun at the topic itself. Because even though the technological advancements are terrifying, AI still has a long way to go before it's giving anyone, especially animators, a run for their money. AI cartoons or animation seem to be the most prominent of the AI abominations that have disgraced our screens in the last few years. And it makes sense given how hard AI struggles to create convincing humans doing human things. And to the untrained eye, which is everyone who still uses Facebook in the current year, these may seem like actual animations, until you spend more than 5 seconds looking at them and have your soul forcefully taken into the uncanny valley where you piss and and cry for the national banishment of Elon Musk. I would know, I do this on an hourly basis. Now, AI is not a new concept in the world of animation, and a lot of AI bros like to do these super eye-roll worthy gotcha moments by pointing out the AI tools that animators often use to help streamline the animation process and make things far less time-consuming. It should be noted that AI is a bad catch-all term slash buzzword at this point, and it's not a very accurate way to describe these tools. I'm just saying it so your brain doesn't do a kickflip every 2 sentences. They're just tools to help automate and streamline the animation process and can be manually corrected and tweaked if they look unnatural. Think stuff like tweening or interpolation software made specifically with animation in mind. None of that JoJo opening but rendered in 60 FPS bullshit. I mean software actually made to help interpolate your animation that you can manually correct and tweak yourself. None of this is generative AI, they're just tools to help with the process of actually animating something. But there lies the problem. People see and use AI as a replacement for animators and don't recognize that there are actual ethical uses of it that can and have been used to assist them for years now. Animation should always have that distinct human touch. An AI animation is going to look off because it's replacing everything, which is why it's important to make the distinction between generative AI, the bad stuff, and tools. There's a reason why no one blows a gasket because Into the Spider-Verse used AI tools to streamline the animation process, because Into the Spider-Verse is a movie that looks like this, and the average AI animation looks like— well, it looks like a computer did it. Obviously, again, AI is a shitty catch-all term slash buzzword at this point, but the point is that generative AI slop is a long way off replacing actual animations created by humans. And I think to highlight just how wide the gap actually is, we should spend some time making fun of some slop. I don't have a better segue than that, and I'm not asking ChatGPT to generate one for me. March 6th, 2025. Reports start coming in claiming that the writers of Paddington in Peru, James Lamont and John Foster, were teaming up once again, but this time for a feature-length AI animated movie called Critters. Now, your first thought upon hearing this should be— you were the chosen one! Who said that you would destroy this and not join them! And second of all, what the f*** is a Critters? I'll tell you what is a Critters. This is a Critters.
I'm sorry, who is speaking?
I'm speaking to you!
Jesus Christ, I found Elon Musk's sleep paralysis demon. Critters began life in 2023 as a short film created entirely with OpenAI. It's claimed to have combined traditional animation techniques, but I mean, just just look at the fucking thing. The behind the scenes footage shows them using motion capture too. Like, what part of this was traditionally animated? Can you traditionally make me some snake oil? This film was nominated for awards somehow. Awards. Granted, it didn't win any of them, but I just want to put that terrifying thought into your mind. They put out a remastered version of it too to showcase how much the AI has improved or something. I compared the two side by side and the only thing I noticed is that the backgrounds look slightly more realistic and uglier and the cameraman has Parkinson's now.
Like I'm some sort of hussy down by the docks trying to work a hut.
Not a single thing about this is impressive or innovative or entertaining. It literally feels like I'm just staring into a dark abyss for 5 minutes straight. It's like meant to be a parody of nature documentaries. That's it, that's all I got from this. It's built off the heated exchange the narrator has with the critters themselves, but pardon my French, I don't f***ing care. I can feel my creativity being sucked dry every moment I spend staring at this talentless void. They have a whole website dedicated to this short, by the way. They are very proud of this. They also have this really cringe-inducing behind-the-scenes video, which is just an additional 5 minutes of some guy marveling at the fact he created all of these images using AI.
Back then, it was the first time I'd used a tool that lets you visualize your imagination.
You should use your imagination to visualize some bitches.
Whatever's in someone's mind or their imagination, now they have technology which allows them to build those worlds.
Sorry, that entire sentence activated my gag reflex. Now, I don't understand how you can take something this simple and make it a feature-length film. Like, I don't get how you can do that. It doesn't seem possible to me. What also confuses me is why people who wrote for a Paddington movie seem to be working on this. You know, Paddington, that widely beloved and successful IP with a movie trilogy that is literally just pure joy incarnate. Do your souls not have price tags, or did the Critters guy ask OpenAI to generate a hostage situation with your family members? Either way, how the mighty have fallen. At the very least, it seems that the feature-length Critters movie may have a story that isn't completely terrible, but with visuals like this, you ain't paying me to watch a minute of it. Wait, why do you guys have a gift tab on your website? Don't tell me this is what I think it is. Yes, this is absolutely what I think it is. Let's move on. If you've been using YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels over the past 2 years, it's very likely you've stumbled across videos like this. I will be offering financial compensation AI cartoon content farms, not just the regular content farms, which are these overly edited, brain-rotted slop videos that at least still semi-resemble a human creation. We're talking entire ecosystems of content farms made exclusively through AI-generated content in the style of cartoons, because that's the easiest thing to generate. Takes far less time than anything else, and is also colorful and eye-catching enough to steal people's attention spans and farm views and impressions. And this stuff is everywhere, especially on YouTube Kids. YouTube Kids isn't exactly renowned for its incredible quality standards, Elsagate, but I cannot for the life of me see how this kind of content gets so many views. Like, I get that kids are the most prominent victims of YouTube's autoplay feature, but I just don't know how this stuff is getting pushed out into the algorithm. Hell, this stuff isn't even watched by kids half the time. These kinds of AI videos absolutely consume like a third of overall YouTube shorts on the platform, because it's easily the most popular format for these kinds of videos. Short, disposable garbage that someone typed into an AI and cooked up within like 5 minutes. This stuff isn't made to stick around, it's just made to grab people's attention for 60 seconds and then vanish. Has anyone actually stopped to try and explain what happens in these? I completely understand why people don't, brain surgery is expensive, but bloody hell, there are always these really short stories, often with text-to-speech narration, about whatever glup shito characters they've brought into the world with the grace of a thermonuclear mushroom cloud, all of which look like they're from the abortion bin of Pixar concept art. Half the time they're completely nonsensical and... okay, wow, that's why no one talks about what happens in these. And hell, we've reached a point where these paragons of human ingenuity have breached the containment efforts of YouTube Shorts, and there are now entire YouTube channels dedicated to making careers off this kind of content. 1 million subscribers, everybody! I mean, fuck, what am I even doing here? I'm never gonna crack 1 million just whining the people. What's stopping me from just typing up an animation right now? Huh? Where? Wait. Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's really you! No, wait, don't go! You will be worthy of my presence someday. I must not be tempted. Yes, the content is successful, and yes, it's easy to make, but it's just so lazy. You need a Harvard professor to even figure out what half of these things are even trying to say. No. I will not be tempted, and to prove my worth to everyone and to Beyond the Spider-Verse in the hopes that one day it will come down and grace us with a release date. arguably the biggest affront to cinema and animation as a whole. There's a bit of contention over what the first feature-length AI animated movie is. Because of course there is. You give the average baboon the keys to creating their own movie with a budget substantially lower than their monthly rent, and you'd be hard-pressed not to find a bunch of poorly made feature-length abominations competing for said title and claiming their place in history. Well, I'm gonna grab this page in the history books and wipe my ass with it because I'm talking about the free ones that are regularly brought up. First, you got 2 movies by this bum named Huru Jackson titled Dread Club, Vampire's Verdict, and Window Seat. Dread Club, Vampire's Verdict is a thorough aping of multiple anime art styles, and Window Seat is an attempt at an AI-generated live-action movie, which looks about as horrifying and uncanny as you could possibly imagine. Both of these movies have absolutely no human input whatsoever. All of Huru Jackson's films are 100% generative AI. It's as soulless as you can get. From the visuals, the soundtrack, vocal performances, everything. And as you could probably expect, both movies are quite bad. By technicality, these are the 2 first feature-length AI movies, but that's if you're even willing to call these movies, because by all accounts they are nigh unwatchable, abysmal dogshit. How did this get on Amazon Prime of all things? Then we have Where the Robots Grow by Tom Patton, which is slightly more interesting to talk about because by all accounts this is an actual movie. It doesn't look like an experiment made in an afternoon, like all of the Huru garbage. In fact, to the untrained eye, this may actually look like a normal animated movie. It still uses AI. Where the Robots Grow isn't a movie completely made by AI, unlike what all the marketing tries to tell you. They have CG artists and motion capture actors to help make the film actually look somewhat presentable. Now, don't misunderstand, this is still an AI garbage movie. It still uses plenty of generative AI and the story feels just as soulless as a movie made by AI. So don't think this is some sort of hidden gem or a massive step forward, because what this movie is doing is painting a rather incomplete picture of just how far this technology has come. The current state of generative AI cannot produce a movie that looks this visually consistent, and I've seen a lot of people get incredibly scared by how far AI has come and cite this movie as a main source for that. You may also be wondering if this somehow counts as an ethical use of AI because they had to get actual artists and humans to tweak the movie into a polished state. But that's also not the case because this movie uses generative AI, not tools to help your computer automate and simplify the animation process. And can I just say, the parts of this movie that are completely untweaked generative AI look absolutely f***ing hideous. There is so much wrong with this image, I could spend a whole video on that, but let's be clear. Where the Robots Grow is still as creatively bankrupt as they come. I mean, for God's sake, this movie released less than a month after DreamWorks' The Wild Robot, and actually released a day ahead of the UK release for The Wild Robot. And it's very clear from the film's logo that it was likely made to try and capitalize off the film's success. Now, I wouldn't call it an outright ripoff, they are 2 very different movies. One's good and one's bad, but it doesn't paint a very flattering picture when your AI-generated slop movie about robots is releasing so close to the highly anticipated DreamWorks movie about robots that has a similar name. At the end of the day, AI is unfortunately here to stay, and we're gonna have to endure it for a while before the governments of the world inevitably pass laws related to its usage. You know it's gonna happen, I know it's gonna happen, it's just a matter of time, especially when images like this exist in the current year. I think being concerned about how fast AI is improving and how it keeps managing to sneak its way into the industry is a very valid concern, and it's one that I share wholeheartedly, but I think it's worth it to take a step back every now and then and realize that AI ain't gonna be replacing conventional human-crafted entertainment anytime soon, and there's a lot of joy you can get out of making fun of robots attempting to convince you that what you're seeing is the future. We deal with enough stress and worries in our day-to-day lives, especially in today's climate, so if you're an artist or animator or a creative in any sense of the word, overthrow Elon Musk.